Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. This is a corset top that I made. This was actually supposed to be just for fun and to try it out, but it turned out so pretty, and I'm actually very happy that I decided to record it. The pattern for this I found on Nava Rose YouTube channel, and you will need to adjust this little pattern because that is extra small size. It will nevertheless fit most people, but it's going to be a little bit snug. So try to adjust it. This is my cat, likes to come in between everything I do. He's a little spice in everything. Anyways, so this fabric that I'm using is some kind of cottony fabric. I just bought it at the store. They did not know the name of it. And when I cut all the pieces, it's time for sewing. So you're going to put everything together just as usual. Face side is going to meet the other face side, and this is what you get when you put all of them together. Then you're going to make another one exactly the same, but make sure that you don't need to actually cut all the pieces like this. You can just cut one whole piece for the lining, and then you're going to stitch everything together, right sides facing each other. And once you go all around, just leave the bottom edge because you will need that bottom edge later. And you're going to make some little notches, especially on the curvy edges, so that they don't pucker up when you turn it inside out. And this was the day when I was making this. Well, the first, second, third day, I don't remember. Cloudy, beautiful, and gloomy. Perfect for this kind of tutorial and this kind of activity. But back to sewing. So here I'm top stitching everything, and just ironing it would be a clever idea. I was too lazy to do it. I am just eyeballing everything. As I said, this was supposed to be just a tryout. Anyways, as I was working, it turned out to be very cute. So I was like, okay, so let's add boning. I don't like regular boning, so I was using zip ties. These zip ties are quite small for me. They're short, but I couldn't find bigger ones, but they did work wonders. Anyways, you don't really need to do them all the way up or all the way down. You can just, do a portion, and that's perfect enough. And instead of eyeballing it, this time I actually marked where they're going to be, and before putting them in, I used the nail file in order to smooth out the edges. And then once that was done, I was out of frame, but I was making these channels that you can see they were drawn out. You will need a ruler for that because you want them to be completely straight. And the easiest way to make them symmetrical is to fold your fabric in half, your corset in half, and mark on both sides. Here I am making bias tape that I put all the way around the bottom edge in order to secure and seal those little zip ties, aka boning. That I wanted something extra, so I wanted to embroider some flowers, and this is very easy. Honestly, it's very simple to do, and it doesn't take that much time, but it added so much detail and it made the whole top so much prettier. I'm absolutely in love, and the more I embroidered, the better the flowers got. So practice makes perfect, kids, remember that. So how I did the flowers, these little buds in the middle, you just pull the thread through and then wrap the thread around the needle twice or thrice, and then you just stab it again into the fabric and pull to the other side. It's very easy to make these little buds, and then after that you don't need to cut the thread. You just continue practically like stitching all around the flowers, and it's always best if you draw them first, just like I did. This hoop that I'm using is just regular plastic one, but honestly, it's such time saver, and it's a lot easier to embroider when you have it. Of course, like if the fabric is stretchy, it can be difficult. So here I was ironing them on the interface. This is just like the fabric that has glue on one side, and I wanted to make it a little bit sturdy because the fabric itself was pretty flimsy. Once I did that, I was going around each and every little cranny, nook and cranny that exists here, and I was like cutting it out, but leaving about 2 or 3 millimeters around so that I have space to stitch and so that I don't destroy the embroidery. Honestly, these flowers are just my favorite right now. I'm absolutely in love. So just go around and cut everything out. And once you do that, you're going to place it on your corset or whatever it is that you're decorating. And you can stitch it, which I started doing. And then I realized that it's just so much time consuming. And I did not want the stitches to go all the way through both these layers of fabric. So here I just was putting them and securing them with little needles. And then after sewing this first flower, I decided to actually just go ahead and glue all of them with fabric glue, because that's just a lot easier, because I had other plans for this little beauty. Sewing it like this is actually very rewarding, but as I said, the issue why I stopped doing it was because I did not want the thread to be visible on the other side, and it was very difficult to just catch the front one because this is such a thin fabric. Oh, you can see the bias tape here right where I sewed it at the bottom, so it looks nice and clean and neat. And then at this point somewhere I decided about that glue. So that is exactly what I did, and then I left it to dry for about 12 hours. I didn't leave it for 24. It was just too long. And then I took these little beads because I wanted to add, again, something extra. I wanted to make it a little bit more Baroque style, and a little bit more fancy. And these little beads added a lot. But then at one point after I did all these beads, which go practically around the whole flower, I did not put them completely, but you see, like, there are some spaces. It's just like to add a little something. And then once I did that, to all around the flowers, I started adding these bigger beads that are so sparkly and so pretty. I've had them for years, and now it was the final time to actually put them to use. And I'm using invisible threads because I don't want the thread to be visible when wearing this. Again, you do not go through all layers of fabric. You just try to catch as little as possible, and maybe first and second layer in this case. And at first I was trying to go like to do a little bit of more fancy type of stitch for these beads, but then it took forever. So that's when I decided to just go regularly and secure it. Just put the needle twice over under, and that's it. And once it was done, it was very, very pretty, and it's so sparkly in real life that I'm obsessed. I think that this is so far my favorite thing that I've ever made. This is time consuming, but it's so worth it. As you can see, it just added so much detail and texture to this little top. It's not just a regular corset anymore. Now it can actually be something to dress up. And this is final product. These are little hoops where you're going to thread any kind of cord that you want, and this is what it looks like. I am absolutely in love. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing and give it a like and comment and share. Bye bye.